Hello there and welcome. My name is Lucie. I am the owner of Twisted Ego, where I design, make, and sell fantasy-inspired fashion. Today, I am taking you with me on kind of a journey to make a very special project. This project has me as excited as I am terrified to do this. A few friends and I are going to Scotland in a few months to attend a fantasy ball. This one is organized by Mystic Fate and it's called Crown and Dagger. Like, please. Once the stress of actually getting tickets to the ball passed, the other stress just came right away in, like, what am I gonna wear? I know that this is already a challenge for people just attending at the ball just because they want to look as fabulous as possible, and yes, please be fabulous. But as a dressmaker, you're like, this is gonna be like my opportunity to show what I can actually do. Not to pressure myself, but it needs to be the best thing I've ever made. Since there, I started to do some research because I had no clue what I actually wanted to wear. I knew I wanted a dress, I knew I wanted something that represents me, but I'm like, yeah, a black dress, of course, but it needs to be special, even if it's just black. I started to work like on a few designs, do a few sketches, had nothing that I can actually inspire me until while searching on Etsy for fabric because I wanted something sparky, I found this beautiful fabric finally had me have an inspiration to do something. I mean, look at this beauty here. It's black and silver. It's my favorite combination. I know it's not very original, but still, it's absolutely beautiful. Once I had the idea with this, I could start to actually make a sketch that will have more the shapes of what I wanted. I started to finally find some images where I can project myself into this. So I feel like the best option here, once we have the idea, is to break the dress in several pieces. So we would have like the shrug part with some big sleeves. We have the corset part and the skirt. I'm also, if I have the time, and I really hope I will, add a armor part on this dress because of course I need a piece of armor. Like, it's called a crown and dagger. I'm gonna have a crown with daggers on it because I already have one. But it needs to have a piece of armor to be totally in my style. So now that we broke down our model into different pieces, I am going to start with the one that is the most intimidating for me. That means the corset. I already did a few ones, but very, very, very few that includes some cups. And I think that for this model, it will really, really be beautiful to actually have some. My first thing is that I went on Etsy to see if I can find some patterns that were really close to what I'm going for. And surprisingly enough, I couldn't find any because this is a challenge and because this is going to be a big thing. We're going to do the patterns ourselves and not in the traditional way like I used to learn at school, but we're going to use the cosplay technique of wrapping and tape. And I don't know if some of you guys went to art school or sewing school or something like that, but back in my days, it seems so weird to say that, but it was more than 10 years ago, we didn't learn any other different technique than actually like traditional pattern making on paper, or what we call moulage, is when you directly drape a piece of fabric on a mannequin. And when someone in the cosplay community showed me this technique of just wrapping and taping and just like drawing with a Sharpie on yourself to have your different things when you put it like flat on a table, it was like, oh my God. So we're gonna do that. And for that, I will need to grab the material I'll need for this, and of course, make a coffee. Sweet, sweet nectar of coffee. I'm back. I put some tight stuff on so it is as close to my body shape as possible. We got some plastic wrap, tape, more tape, and a Sharpie over there somewhere. I also brought in a mirror here so I can see the stuff I'm doing, and hair is out of the way. So let's try to do this. That's the first step, and I'm already doing. I forgot, like, I bought these like cheap bras because I wanted to have like a nice shape, because as you can see, my natural shape is not really pronounced. So I need to put this under the plastic and then wrap it all again. What I'm doing is that I'm trying to feel where is the boning of the bra I've put under. And so I can just like try to draw this shape, because I don't know yet if I'm going to just add some kind of push-up in it, or I'm just going to integrate a real bra for having the best shape and support possible. I'll just see that after, but I'm trying to keep the same shape. I'm facing a challenge here. I have no idea how I'm supposed to draw my back and to see where's the middle of my back. I'm going to have a lacing in the back, so it's like, if it's not super like right, it's okay, but like how do you guys do? How do you draw your back? I mean, like a kid drawing on them. It's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna try it. It's gonna be like a vague idea. Let me show you what I have. I'm kind of happy with the front. I think it has like a nice V shape and everything, and like yeah, well, it's a vague idea. I think, like, of course I'm gonna make a prototype, so yeah, it's gonna, we'll see. Now I'm going to take this off and try to make it a little bit more clean-ish. Okay, so I have my beautiful pattern base here. I only did like 1/2 because I'm just going to duplicate it. So now I'm going to retrace a little bit everything in a cleanest way and start to cut the different pieces. Yay! I have all of my pieces ready, and as you can see, I put numbers on them, different like Roman numbers and regular ones on the different pieces, so I can see which piece goes where. I also leaved in the middle of the back that is going to be open on the corset, and I'm going to use some old pieces of fabric that are from like older prototypes and everything, and I'm going to cut all my pieces to be able to actually try it on. Okay, so I have all my pieces are cut, and now I'm going to pin them all together to have the bodice to try on. I have pinned most of the bodice together and have the cups here. Now we're going to move on to the sewing machine. Okay, so most of it is together. The last step now before trying it on is to connect the bustier part with the cups. Okay, here it is. The opening will be in the back for the model, but to be easier to try it on, I left it open in the front and left, like I said before, the central piece here where there will be a lacing. Now it's time to actually try it on. It's actually kind of hard to pin it together. Let me just move a little bit closer to the mirror. Okay, again. For the first try, I think it's not that bad, actually. The shape is here, the back is okay, the size is okay, which is actually really good and the most important. So I just want to make a few modifications on the neckline here because I like the idea, I think it's nice, but I want to have a little bit more of a curvy shape. I think this opening in V is just a tiny bit too wide, and I'm going to try to have it to connect to the strap, as I want to have like a bra base. I need to adapt it more to the bra I am actually wearing. So I will need to add some extra fabric here and to retrace the cup part. But I think the rest of the fitting is pretty nice. I don't want it to be too tight because I'm going to spend a whole evening in this dress, and I don't want to actually change my body shape because I want it to be comfortable to dance and eat and drink and have fun and wear it for an extended period of time without feeling any discomfort. I was actually trying to go with fabric and add it here and everything, but as I'm going to probably have to retrace the lines on the cuff part, I'll just go right back in with some tape, I think. Okay, this is the new shape. I think it's better because I really want to have like this deep V, but I don't want to have like a really wide like neckline sort of thing. So I'm going to take this part off and cut it like I did with the tape and just remake this part and put it back onto the corset. I am so happy I remade the cup part of this bustier because it looks so good right now. Like, let me come a little bit closer and show you some details. Like, yeah, I just attached them to the straps here because there will be some straps onto this piece. And I think the cut is really, really nice. Like, the fitting is good. This with some boning is going to be absolutely perfect. But I don't think I'm going to keep this little V-cut I did here with this little extra piece. I think this part is going to be one piece because it's hard to connect and have a nice shape coming from this seam here. So what I'm going to do is that this is going to stay like this, and I'll just continue the cut with some trim or something like that. I don't really know yet, but I'm going to do this V-cut like by adding some decoration onto this top. But for now, I really, really love this. I'm going to do all my patterns into a more clear version because all the tape one are really crunched and everything. So I'm going to do some nice patterns. So I do have like one base that I can keep aside and reuse to make maybe other projects. Okay, so these were the patterns that we had before. They're all crunchy, but still usable. Like, I was able to make a prototype. And these are our patterns now. The point is to have this like really clean and nice with all the indication. Actually, this one is not right. Like this, to see where it should connect. Where is the middle front and the sides and everything. And with that, we will be able to cut our fabric tomorrow. Yay! In the meantime, I realized that it could be a good idea to have my corset and my skirt as two different pieces. Because at first I wanted them to be sewn together, but I'm really scared that the weight of the bottom part will kind of pull the gown down and put a lot of weight onto the corset part. It will be also easier to have two separate pieces to put it on for storage, and it could also be fun to have them separate to be able to wear them with different pieces of garments. I am a total sucker for a corset with a pair of trousers. Ugh. For that, as my skirt is going to arrive to my waist here, but just to make sure everything fits perfectly, I need to make the corset just a tiny bit longer. I'm going to modify directly on my patterns. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to do a whole new fitting, as the corset will be adjustable with lacing in the back. So that's the first thing I'm going to do now. Or not now, because we have a very important task to do before, and that is to make a coffee. Our patterns are ready, so now to make the corset, we actually have some different fabric options. Mainly these two. They look really similar, but one is more stiff and the other one is a little bit more shiny. I know that I'm going to have to probably layer them. I still want to have this sheer black look and then put all the decoration on it. I could start to integrate some lace in it, but as I don't really know how it's all going to go together, I really want to have like a white canvas, but black canvas in this case, to be able to play around with all the trims and decoration. So I have these two. They are supposed to be made to do some corsets. So they're like really, really strong, meshy fabric, kind of see-through like that. I don't know which. I think I prefer, like, one has a better feel and the other one has a better shine. So I should probably like layer. I can't choose. Probably I'm just gonna use both. And the one that is the softest is going to go to the skin, and the other one that is a little bit more shiny maybe is going to go on the top side. I'm not sure yet, but still I need to cut the pieces. For a corset, I really need to be like super precise on how much I leave into the seam. Like for a regular like stretchy outfit, I don't really care. I just put like vaguely like 1 centimeters, but as this is supposed to be like body tight, and if you mess up like the cut even from like 1 or 2 millimeters on each side, that means it's going to be like at least half a centimeter on the half of your corset. So it's going to be 1 centimeter in the total of your waist, and that can actually make a big difference. So I really take the time to trace correctly where I'm going to cut. And also because I don't have a lot of this fabric, so I need to make sure that I don't lose space and make it as good of a cut as possible. here it is. I finally have all my pieces. I also cut some extra cup one into some regular black lining. Now the next step is just that I'm going to start to assemble. I had to pin all of these because they all have this double layer of fabric. But yay, I'm excited to put this all together. Now I'm going to start to assemble everything. One thing that I really need to be aware of is that I want my seam allowances to be on the outside of my garment and not on the inside as we usually put them. That is for two reasons. The first one is that I want my boning channels to be on the outside because I want them to cover the seam and make it look like something that is seamless. And the other thing is that I could put the boning channel on the outside and still have my seam allowance inside, but it's not going to be very comfortable near the body, even more so that it's with some fabric that it's kind of rigid and not that soft. So I'm going to assemble the wrong sides together to actually have all my allowances on the outside. So I have to find a solution to put inside the cup here because I want them to stay in shape and stay with a nice shape and give me a nice shape. And for that, I thought of two things. The first one I thought of is that I have some like these, but they don't really match the shape. So like half of it would be kind of empty and I feel like that would be weird. So the second thing is that I have this, which is kind of like a 5mm mousse, and if I cut the same shape as this and just like assemble them with like a zigzag or something like that, probably I could do the entire, not probably, I will do the entire of the cup and just then add the lining, and then we can move on to the rest. But for that, I need to whip out another machine. Ta-da! Let's go install this. Well, that was surprisingly easy. Like, look at the. It actually looks nice. Like I never did this before, so I really didn't expect it to turn like this good. I'm saying this now. I can totally f this up in a little while, but for now, like, it looks kind of good. So I am going to take this and I'm going to put a thread all around here just to keep all of this together. Then I'll just put the lining, and this is the beginning of the hand stitching. That will be a recurrent theme in this corset. So yeah, welcome hand stitching. Let's do this. lining is put inside the cup part. I also just made and pinned some straps. Now what I'm going to do is actually put the eyelets in. It's not normally this step right now, but I would like to try it on because I do have these two things that are like really big push-ups that normally you just add into a bra, and I've been having them for years and I don't use them in my everyday life. However, as I want a really nice neckline in this corset, I'm going to see if adding these just give an extra wow or if it doesn't changes anything. And for that, I need to put it on, so let's do eyelets. I just realized that while I'm making all this to do kind of a fitting, why shouldn't I just put the boning? Like, I mean, I can just put in all the basic part. I just closed with a stitch up here, leaving the space for my bias to be. But I'm like, why not? So let's try this. And for the cut part, I have these, but I don't think they are the right size. I should see if I can cut them or if I need to buy some, but I would really like to use what I actually have. I have different ones. Like, I normally use ones like these. They're like really basic plasticky ones. These ones are really good. I think they will be a bit large for the boning channel I have, or these, but they're like for more smoothing. I do have some metallic ones like this, but I actually never used this before, so maybe this is the right project to try something I never did. I have some tips here. So I think I'm gonna try with the metallic one. It definitely smells like iron. And if it doesn't work out, I will be moving on to this one, which I know are really good. Let's do this. It's fitting time. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Could be better, but it could be worse. Now I really need to fit this to see if I need to add the push-up in the cups. And then if it works out, there's pretty much only, come on girl, the bias tape to put on the edges and finish the middle front. But so far so good, I think. Now it's going to be the moment of truth. And yes, like this whole project, I am as excited as I am terrified. Let's do this. Are you guys ready? Because I am. Ta-da! I am so happy. I am so happy. Don't mind the white lacing because it's just what I have now. But let me get you a little bit closer. Like, the fit is really good. Like I said, it could be better, but it could also be like really way worse. I have my mirror here, and I am generally happy. Like it fits. I still have like a little bit of room here because it's going to be on a voluminous skirt, so I don't want it to be too tight. Like I still, it's, if something is like slightly too big, because I would have liked this part here to be a little bit more open, but it's fine. It's fine. It needs to be close at the bottom here so we don't see the closing of the skirt under it. I think like I can move. I probably can dance. It's going to be perfect. Here there will be the opening. Like I still have like an extra centimeter here because I haven't finished here. And the best thing for me is that actually the cup fits, which is, oh my God, just so amazing, because it's really the hardest part for me. Like it's the first time I actually do a corset with cups that fit that good. I am still going to try with the push-up because I feel like the neckline could be just a tiny bit more extra. So just let me get this on. Can you see a difference? Like this is without, and this is with. I think there's a difference. It's a yes, the push-up will be added inside. If at some point I don't want them anymore, it will be easy to just remove them. But for now, like it's giving me girls that I don't have. So for this look, like it's gonna have like this big skirt and shrug and everything, I'm not mad having a little volume around here, you know? So I'm just gonna make sure that the bias that I'm going to put here will be really tight, so it really like get the cups really directly to the skin. But overall, like this is so cool, and this is so actually what I wanted. So let's do this. I'm going to change, and I'm going to try to finish this blank black canvas for the next step. Finally, the corset is done. Like all the base is done. I only have like one last detail, is that the strap here is going to be attached over here, but I'll need to put it on myself to see how tight I want it to be. Even though it can be adjusted, I really want it to be perfect. I also added just 2 little pieces of boning inside the V-cut here to make sure it has the best fit ever. I'm really happy. I also put the extra pad into the cups. So that's a very, very good first step. And I am so excited to put all the decoration on this piece. So next step, next day. Now we have our base corset, and as much as I would absolutely love to start decorating this, I really want to make sure that I actually have a dress to wear, because I had a little reminder and it's in 2 months and I have many other things to do than this project. So yeah, I'm a bit stressed. So it's time for skirts. My idea for the skirt was to have like a many layers, so it has a little bit of volume. I'm not gonna have like hoops and everything under, I think so, because I still need to travel with the dress. But I want to have like the lining, the organza, we have some black veil fabric, and of course the sequin fabric. My first idea was to have like all the underskirts, then have like 1 layer of the sequin fabric, and just add on top of that a layer of black veil, just to give a little more like subtlety to the silver sequin fabric, because I didn't want it to be like too much like many sequins in your face and poof, but it still needs to be a ball gown. So yeah, tried doing this, see if the vision was like in my head, and it was a total fail. Like I was going for subtlety, not like completely obliterating the sequin fabric. This was not subtle, this was just not doing it. I had to rethink my idea and decided that the sequin fabric would have to be on top of the other ones. That is a good thing because I wanted to also use the scrap from this fabric to do all the shoulder part from the shrug, and it could be kind of a nice association with the skirt. But the less good thing about this is that this sequin fabric is a little bit heavy compared to the other ones. I'm afraid it's going to crush down all the layers under and not have this really swirling around zhuzh effect. But for that, I have different options that I want to try to see if it works. I still need to have the underskirt parts ready. That's what we are going to do. But first, coffee. Let's do this. For the underskirts, I'll be working with some different fabric. I have some lining that is quite thin. I have these old organza curtains and this black veil fabric. I measured all of them to see with how much I was working with. This one I can only do a half circle skirt. This one I can make a full circle skirt. And this one, which I have like, I don't know, more than 8 meters of it. And this one is gonna be a full circle, but will have gathers around the waist. So for that, I'll need to prepare some patterns. Here we are, all the theory for the circle skirt pattern. This one is a full circle, this one is a half circle. And this is like the little bit of math you need to do for this one. It's not complicated, but you still need to take a little time just to calculate. The easy thing is to take like your waist measurement, divided by pi, divided by 2, and it will give you the radius that you need to do for your circle. As we are working with a lot of fabric, I am going to do what we call a reverse pattern. So I'm going to actually pattern the circle here and then just trace the length that I want on the different fabrics. For obvious space reason, I'll be working from the floor of my living room. RIP to my very fragile back. But yeah, it'll be way easier than to try to put it all on a table. And so we can also be graced by this infinite cuteness here. Ooh, nappy time. Skirt doesn't look too bad on the mannequin. Of course, I did a mistake. It should be like the other way around. I want the nice part of the skirt to actually be inside. But I did it wrong and I don't want to have to redo all of it, or should I? No, that's going to be too complicated. Whatever. Because I really want the slit to be on my left leg because I'm going to have probably a piece of armor, the right one. So now I'm going to try this on myself to check if the length is good. it's actually not that bad. I really didn't want to step on it like while marching forward, and I think it works pretty well. Kind of sad I didn't do like a real pattern for this, because that is definitely a skirt I would wish to have like for everyday life. But yeah, length is okay, so I'm gonna finish the hem. I did some French seams to, to put the pieces of organza together. I think it has a more clear finish. But as I am not super happy with the hem I did on the lining, I'm going actually to try to use this. I saw a few techniques using this to do the edges on like really thin or sheer fabric. And so I think I'm going to try this technique on the organza and see how it goes. I'm just going to take 1 minute to do a special mention to this device that I just tested, and I am totally convinced. I mean, it's super easy to use. It was actually very cheap. I can't remember the name of it, but I just stumbled upon it like on Etsy, I think. And it really got me to have like clean edges on all very flowy and very sheer fabric. And I could do like, I don't know, there must be like around 8 meters of hem like in one sitting without having to go to the iron and then come back and then everything. So this is a win. This is a yes. And oh, it's reusable. Oh my God. Now that all the layers of the skirt are assembled, I redo a fitting to check the leg slit and the length of the skirt. I also pinned some of the sequin fabric with the corset on my dress form to have a general idea of how it looks all together. Then I moved on to draping the sequin fabric on top of the other layers. This is to check the type of volume that I want and also have an idea of how much it will crush the underskirt. It's time now for a little math. I went for pleating instead of gathering. I think it will look way better on this very decorated fabric. I have to calculate the total length of my fabric and reduce it with equal pleats to arrive at the same measurement than the waist on my base layers. I mark every pleat with some pin and then fix them with a hand stitch. I then
put it back on the dress form for a final volume check. Once I am happy with the pleats, I pin the sequin fabric in place, taking care to align it carefully with the slit, and sew all of the layers together with my machine. I added some bias along the back opening for a clean finish edge. This also required some more hand stitching. Last step is the belt. It's made of a black sturdy fabric reinforced with 2 types of interfacing to make it even sturdier, as the total of the skirt is very heavy. I pin it in place and sew it onto my waist. I also remove as much as I can from the excess sequin fabric to avoid bulky lines. I then fold it in half, pin it, and then use my heavy-duty machine to top stitch the belt. I add a little hook in the back, and I start to cut off the excess fabric at the hem so I can use it for the shrug. I also prepared some long rectangles out of black veil fabric that I also sewed together with a French seam to have a very, very, very long piece. So I can ruffle it and it will be at the hem of my skirt. Hi, it's me from the future. Obviously. While editing this video, my good friend Alex, who is helping me for all the video thing, and myself decided that we shall make it a 2-parter. Because this project is, I think, around 100 hours of work, trying to condense all of this in a video without it being like 2 hours long was pushing us to take out too many pieces, and we wouldn't have like a result that would be something that is linear and kind of digest, if I may say. This whole project is also a lot of different piece, as it's really a whole ball gown with a lot of details and techniques and different materials. So it would have been a little bit like sad to have to remove like so much of the process, as it's not something repetitive that we can just like fast forward on. So I hope you enjoyed this first part, and you will definitely see the result in the next one. So in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, check out my Instagram page because I have a lot going on over there with the main thing of Twisted Ego, and I'll see you definitely into the next one.